Okay, today we're going to look at a couple of persuasive essay samples for the SAT and in general class writing. So remember that essay 1, why students should eat breakfast every day. Every essay is going to have an introduction, transitions, about 2 or 3 points, and then a conclusion. So if I look over here, the title is Why Should Students Eat Breakfast Every Day? Okay, and then here's the introduction paragraph. The thesis is at the end. I believe that everyone should eat breakfast before going to their activities. The purpose of this paper is to show the importance of breakfast, especially for students. This is the thesis statement. Okay, then he has some transitions here. The first reason, okay, why you should eat it is it's good for your health. Another reason for eating breakfast is because you need food to do well for the day in your classes. The last reason is to have breakfast every day is because you can avoid diseases if you eat some breakfast in the morning. Then you have the conclusion. You have to realize that breakfast is the most important meal of the day and blah, blah, blah. You can't skip it and so on and so forth. But I would say that this is more like a beginning example, probably around the 8th grade, 7th, 8th grade. It looks like that. Okay, over here is more of an 11th grade example and a college example. Okay, so college persuasive essay. Physical education is vital for all. A little bit better verbiage and vocabulary. Okay, here's the thesis statement at the end of the intro. There are many reasons why physical education should be required, but perhaps the most important reasons are paragraph number 1, PE is good for one's health. Another paragraph, it teaches students about exercise and nutrition. Another paragraph, it helps relieve stress. And another paragraph, it helps students develop healthy habits. Now, if I look at this one over here, it helps to relieve stress. I need to find that paragraph. So this point should be a paragraph. Let me see if I can find it. Right here. In addition, transition, by the way, to healthy effects for the body, physical education can also have a positive effects on a person's mentality. Then he goes on to elaborate for about, let's see how many lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 lines. This person elaborates for 13 lines how physical education helps relieve stress. Okay. Now over here in paragraph number 2, which I really don't like this here, I'm going to pinch it in a little bit. Okay, this is your counter argument. You should be able to recognize that this is the other side's point of view. You should always have a counter argument in an argumentative essay or a persuasive essay. So let's just take a look at it. It is true, however, that there are some negative effects on having physical education in high school. Then this person is going to list the opposing side's point of view. Some people say, and so on and so forth, that there are negative effects of having physical education in high school. Like the old idiom says, it says keep your friends close, but keep your enemies closer. Because to conquer another argument, you need to understand their point of view and recognize it. Okay, so this person is saying, I get what you're saying, that gym is bad. We get that. You're saying it because of this, because of that. You got classes. It's going to cut into your schedule. There are other classes that are offered throughout the day. Some kids might have gym in the morning, some in the afternoon. We get you. We understand all that. But nevertheless, which is the rebuttal, I'm going to tell you my point of view. So far we have the thesis, which is detailed. Okay, we have a counter argument. We have paragraph number, I guess, 3, which is the first point 1, that statistics show that the youth of America today are becoming overweight and out of shape, factors which can lead to diabetes. So I guess we're talking about physical health here. Let me see if I can find it in the thesis. P is good for one's health. So that's that paragraph. We found this paragraph already. I guess it's point 3. Let's see if we can find point 2. Point 2, it teaches students about exercising and nutrition. Counter argument here. Point 1 we already found. I'm going to say it's going to be, actually it's going to be, let's say maybe here. Another argument for physical education is that it helps students develop good eating and workout habits. Okay, so gym can help you eat better and develop workout habits, which is important in life. Which, on a side note, one of the most devastating diseases in America that is going largely unnoticed, but scientists are realizing that this is basically killing America is liver disease, and that comes from eating too much sugar, too many high fructose corn syrup products like pop. It goes right to your liver. It turns your liver into fat, and from there it goes to cirrhosis. So eating a lot of sugary products is the same thing as becoming an alcoholic, damaging your liver. And then once that's damaged, your liver can replace itself if you catch it in time, but it's something you have to really think about. Okay, so over here, to sum it up, we have an introduction paragraph. We have a thesis statement at the end that is going to detail all our points. This is a detailed thesis, which means that it's going to specifically talk about the things that this writer wants to write about in the thesis statement. P is good for your health. It teaches students about exercise and nutrition. It helps release stress, and it helps students develop healthy habits. You could also have just said, gym is required for all students because it is very important. That's called an umbrella thesis. An umbrella thesis means you're going to make this up as you go. In this case, this person already knows what they want to talk about, so they're going to have a detailed thesis. So you can either have an umbrella thesis or a detailed thesis. Okay, remember that this is the counter argument here. It is the opposing side's point of view. Remember that this is point one from the thesis, or at least 1 point from the thesis. I'm going to read the topic sentence, and the rest is nothing but elaboration. Statistics show that the youth of America today are becoming overweight and out of shape, factors which can lead to diabetes. So this is talking about health. Point two, with the transition, in addition to point two. Okay, point two is going to say, in addition to healthy effects for the body, physical education can also have positive effects on the person mentally. This is going to talk about that. So basically, when you work out, your body has endorphins. It makes you feel better. Your blood pressure drops. You get more blood to your brain, more oxygen. It relieves stress. Point three, related to the thesis statement, another argument, transition, for physical education is that it helps students develop good eating and workout habits. So that's kind of self-explanatory. So this person goes into this for about how many lines? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Then finally we have in conclusion. So in conclusion, I'm going to restate my thesis, but start with the transition. In conclusion, okay, physical education classes should be mandatory in schools. All right, so here's his point. It was restated. Restated thesis. You always restate your thesis or your main idea in the first sentence of the last paragraph, of the conclusion paragraph. In conclusion, in conclusion, physical education classes should be mandatory in schools. Okay, one last thing I want to show you is that you do not see the word I in this paper. That's not a major doc on the SAT or on any kind of essay, but this is written in the third person. It sounds neutral. So even though this is this person's idea, he writes it in the third person. Two students were fighting. They should be suspended, okay? Over here, this one is written in the first person. The first reason, okay, I believe that everyone should eat breakfast before going to their activities. If you write in the first person like that and talk about you, I, and I, the problem is everyone has their own opinion. It's not as effective as the third person. So try to avoid the word I if you can. All right, so let me pinch this down to kind of show you what this looks like overall. So remember, introduction, counter argument, point one from the thesis, point two from the thesis, point three from the thesis, and the conclusion paragraph where this thesis statement here is restated first when it was restated last in the introduction. So I could draw this over here to here. But if I really wanted to skim through this paper, I could have just read the thesis statement. I could have identified the counter argument. I could read the topic sentences here to see where it is in the thesis. I could have read this topic sentence and summarized it. I could have read this topic sentence and summarized it. I could have read this topic sentence to the conclusion to realize that this is a conclusion. It's going to relate back to here. And this is how you write a college paper at Harvard, at Michigan, at Wayne State, at Saginaw Valley, at Delta College, at Oakland Community College. It doesn't matter. It's the same process across the world. Okay. Remember, sign up for the SAT.